Funny enough, even though the Vikings are 0-2, they're not necessarily in a horrible spot because the NFC North division as a whole, all four teams lost in week 2. The Vikings are one game out of first place in the division. And the difference between that and, say, if the Packers and the Lions both won their games and they were to be 2-0 where the Vikings are 0-2, you're talking about a 4-game swing where you need the Vikings to win and the Packers and Lions to lose twice. That's a lot of pressure right there. But this is a relatively good spot, all things considered, which makes the upcoming game against the Chargers essentially a must-win game for the Vikings. In fact, after the Chargers and Panthers game, if you can squeeze your way back to 500, you've got the gauntlet of your schedule coming. You've got the Chiefs, you've got the Bears, even though I think they're still a divisional game, so I'll give you that respect. But after that, you got the 49ers, the Packers, the Falcons, even the Saints. Those are going to be some tough-ass games. Now, everything that could have went right for the Vikings in week 2 outside of getting a win yourselves, it went right. Now let's go over these games in the NFC North. The Packers-Falcons game. I do believe that Jordan Love is a very solid quarterback. It's quite different from when I first saw Aaron Rodgers post Brett Favre. The very first time I saw him play, I said, you got to be kidding me. It was clear from the jump that he was going to be a problem for a long time. I didn't necessarily see that from Love. I don't know what his ceiling is going to be, but I do believe at the very least he's going to be a very competent quarterback. Now, specifically in regards to the Falcons game, they were Green Bay without 3 of their juggernauts on the offensive side of the ball: Aaron Jones, David Bakhtiari, and Christian Watson. Now, had they have been healthy, would that have made a difference? Probably, but we'll never know. I do know with Love, he went cold in the fourth quarter. He threw a near interception to A.J. Terrell, and on a 4th down attempt, botched the QB sneak to where Love drew a false start. He moved before the ball snapped, and the offensive lineman moved, backing up the line of scrimmage, forcing the Packers to punt the ball instead of getting a fresh set of downs. Combine that with the Packers defense. Now, the Packers, they could have had 2 takeaways, 2 interceptions on Desmond Ridder. I think it was Quay Walker and Jair Alexander. The ball hit both of their hands and it hit the ground. They couldn't convert those takeaways. But that aside, combine Jordan Love going cold in the fourth quarter, the Packers, they were up 2 scores heading into the fourth. The defense gave up 13 unanswered points, and that was a difference right there. So everything that could have went right for the Vikings in that game absolutely did. Now let's talk about Lions Seahawks. It's very simple. This comes down to 2 things, the first being very Vikings-esque. The Lions had 3 turnovers. Just don't turn the ball over. One of them being a pick 6. The other, their secondary couldn't stop anybody. I would say Detroit's pass rush was relatively okay. Geno Smith did a really good job of moving around in the pocket, getting outside the pocket, extending plays. But Geno Smith, 32 for 41, 328 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He did get sacked once, but their secondary couldn't stop anybody, which is really disappointing when you consider the additions of Cam Sutton and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And lastly, let's talk Chicago Bears, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Actually, what the hell do I look like wasting my time breaking this game down? Now, there may be several reasons for why the Chicago Bears 2023 season will ultimately end up being another demise, but the primary culprit here is the quarterback, Justin Fields. And it's crazy because how could you have not seen this coming? Justin Fields, with his career completion rate of 59.8%. Forget the fact that their GM, Ryan Poles, had the number 1 overall pick. You had the ultimate opportunity to wash your hands of it, be done, and say, we're going to take a chance on Bryce Young or CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson. You say, no, we are putting all our eggs into the basket of Justin Fields. That aside, something happened this summer, this offseason, that it's just mind-boggling to me. Bears Nation and the media got together and said, and they had a meeting and everything. They said, let's push a Justin Fields agenda. And things such as, oh my God, Justin Fields, season 3 incoming. He's going to take over the league. He's going to make a seismic jump like Jalen Hurts. The NFC North is ours. Bear down. And that's just from the Bears fan side. Then the media. For example, James Jones, former Packers receiver, James Jones, he's now part of the show Speak on FS1. He said, quote, this was back in August, so a month ago. It's disrespectful to Justin Fields to compare him to Jalen Hurts. Fields' arm talent is better. He's faster, more explosive. His run talent is better than Hurts. And he doesn't have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, that offensive line, etc. Hurts is winning with the team. Justin Fields at the quarterback position is more of a talent than Hurts. Where was I? I'm surprised half of the statue of Justin Fields isn't built outside of Chicago, out of Soldier Field right now. All these proclamations and projections, what did you all base this off of? Make believe? Justin Fields has and still stinks. This is wild. And it's hilarious. I am not going to waste my time breaking down Bears versus Buccaneers. In fact, the only thing I'm going to break down yesterday, Justin Fields, 16 for 29, 211 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. I'm done. But this could shape up to be just a dog fest of an NFC North division between at least the Lions and Packers, and hopefully the Vikings, if they can get their act in gear with these next 2 games, especially the Chargers and the Panthers. I will say I do believe the Lions are the team to beat. I think they're for real. Their offense is all around, I believe, elite. Their defense, they can make plays against the run. Their pass rush is okay, but their secondary is really their only weakness. And if you want to say, well, the Lions, they're frauds. Yeah, they're 1-1, but that win they got against the Kansas City Chiefs put an asterisk next to it because Kadarius Toney was dropping passes and they didn't have Travis Kelce. Well, then the counter to that is Patrick Mahomes. In fact, let me look this up real quick. Patrick Mahomes in that game, Lions-Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes in that 21-20 loss to Detroit. He dropped back 39 times. Which means, because Jawan Taylor, every single snap was not aligned with the center's waist, so it was an illegal formation and he jumped early every single play. He committed 2 penalties per play. Patrick Mahomes dropped back 39 times, which means the Chiefs got away with 78 penalties that weren't called on Jawan Taylor. It's yin and yang. There's balance. The Lions, they're going to be a good team, but the Vikings, it's not necessarily over just yet. This upcoming game against the LA Chargers must win to save the season.